is stupid. This is not the America that we need to live in. This is absolutely dumb. I mean, this makes no sense. And if this makes sense to you, you've got a problem. So Jimmy Kimmel returns last night, and you are not going to believe this man's reaction and what he tells us and tries to sell us in his monologue. It reminds me of, you ever been around someone and they offend you, and you make it known to them that they offend you, and they say, well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you got offended by what I said. That's basically what Jimmy Kimmel is saying. He's never having a deep felt apology of saying, hey, I really messed this up. I shouldn't have said what I said. And then he goes on to blame it on the FCC. He blames it on Trump. He blames it on everybody, but accepting responsibility for his own actions. We got a pretty long video here, guys, so we're going to get after it. Let's see what he says.
I don't think what I have to say is going to make much of a difference. If you like me, you like me. If you don't, you don't. I have no illusions about changing anyone's mind. But I do want to make something clear because it's important to me as a human, and that is, you understand that it was never my intention to make light of the murder of a young man.
I don't think there's anything funny about it.
I posted a message on Instagram on the day he was killed, sending love to his family and asking for compassion, and I meant it. I still do. Nor was it my intention to blame any specific group for the actions of what it was obviously a deeply disturbed individual. That was really the opposite of the point I was trying to make, but I understand that to some that felt either ill-timed or unclear, or maybe both. And for those who think I did point a finger, I get why you're upset. If the situation was reversed, there's a good chance I'd have felt the same way. I have many friends and family members on the other side who I love and remain close to, even though we don't agree on politics at all. I don't think the murderer who shot Charlie Kirk represents anyone. This was a sick person who believed violence was a solution, and it isn't. It ever. And also, selfishly, I am a person who gets a lot of threats. I get many ugly and scary threats against my life, my wife, my kids, my coworkers, because of what I choose to say. And I know those threats don't come from the kind of people on the right who I know and love. So that's what I wanted to say on that subject. But I don't want to make this about me because, and I know this is what people say when they make things about them, but I really don't. This show is not important. What is important is that we get to live in a country that allows us to have a show like this.
So we just saved you about 5 minutes of the introduction of this monologue. The first several minutes of this thing, all he's doing is thanking everyone, and he's thanking all the celebrities that reached out. He's thanking even some on the right that reached out and said censorship is never an issue. He loaded the show with basically saying, I was taken off the airways by the United States government, and the government should not be in the business of censorship, when actually he was taken off of the airwaves by Bob Iger, who is the CEO of Disney. Disney put out a statement saying that we removed him because of the content that he put out for all of us to see. But he's continuing to say that it was the United States government that pulled him off the air, which couldn't be further from the truth. That was his apology. I'll save you the long, boring nonsense. That was it. That was it. That was all he has to say. And then he said the most important thing he said is that this show is not important, which is true. His show is not important. He's not important. And for him to come out, I mean, Jimmy, why couldn't he just say, hey, man, that was distasteful. I hurt some folks' feelings. I'm sorry about that. I shouldn't have done that. There is a thing called crossing the line, and he crosses the line. Should that speech be protected? Yeah, I think it should be. But should you reap repercussions for what you do say? Should you be held accountable for the things that you say? Absolutely, you should be. And his sponsors should step up. I think his Disney should step up and say, hey, that doesn't represent our brand. When you go to work and you have essentially a code of conduct where you work, you have policies and procedures at your place of employment. And if you start acting in a way that muddies up the brand of the one that you ride for, they're going to fire you as well, and they're going to discipline you. This is no different. This has nothing to do with the United States government or the FCC at all. And so I'm going to show you a couple tweets here. Elon Musk retweeted the House Judiciary GOP and they tweeted, they put this back in 2000, September 23. Google admits censorship under Biden, promises to end bans of YouTube accounts of thousands of Americans censored for political speech. Do you understand the mass the outcry of support that Jimmy Kimmel has gotten because they think that the United States government has censored him? What paradigm are we living in that thinks that, I mean, the same people that Jimmy just went through this whole list of celebrities that I had to listen to that said, oh my gosh, you shouldn't be censored, are the same ones that cheered for Donald Trump and all these conservatives to be censored. I mean, it says here today, thanks to the oversight of Jim Jordan, Google commits to offer all creators previously kicked off YouTube due to political speech violations on topics such as COVID-19 elections as an opportunity to return to the platform. Google also admitted the following to the House Judiciary Committee. The Biden administration pressured Google to censor Americans and remove content that did not violate YouTube's policy. The United States government, through a backdoor channel, reached out to these private companies and pressured them to censor their political opponents. And now we have such faux outcry about Jimmy Kimmel? Come on, man. This is stupid. This is stupid. This is not the America that we need to live in. This is absolutely dumb. I mean, this makes no sense. And if this makes sense to you, you've got a problem. You have a big problem. The second thing on it says the Biden administration censorship pressure was unacceptable and wrong. Public debate should never come at the expense of relying authorities. I don't get it, man. The company will never use third-party fact checkers. This whole thing goes way above Jimmy Kimmel and censorship. This goes, but the outcome of this, the end result of this is that, yes, the United States government should not censor speech across the board. I get it. They did it, and they're trying to hide behind that. It never happened. And it probably never will, as long as folks like you and I stand up, have a voice, be brave, and be courage to speak to evil and call out the wrongdoers and just speak the truth, no matter who it makes mad. We'll see you next video.